Ladies and gentlemen, dreams are the lifeblood of our ambitions and the spark that ignites our passion for life. Every great accomplishment began as a dream, a vision of what could be. But let me tell you this, the road to realizing those dreams is not smooth, and many stumble before they can truly rise. Why? Because dream killers exist. These are not just external forces, but also internal barriers that prevent us from turning dreams into reality. Let's talk about these dream killers, what they are, how they take root, and most importantly, how to conquer them. 1. Fear. The paralyzing force. Fear is a thief that robs us of our potential before we even try. It whispers, "What if you fail?" or "What if you're not good enough?" This fear paralyzes action, keeping us trapped in the comfort zone. But here's the truth. The antidote to fear is action. When you take even the smallest step forward, you prove to yourself that fear is a liar. The key is to move, even when you feel afraid. Fear is one of the most potent forces that can hold us back from achieving our dreams. It operates in the shadows of our minds, whispering doubts and creating imaginary barriers that often feel insurmountable. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and even the fear of success can paralyze us, stopping us from taking the first step toward what we truly desire. It is a thief of potential, robbing us not only of opportunities, but also of the confidence to even try. Fear is the source of the confidence to even try. Fear tricks us into believing that staying in our comfort zone is safer, that risk is dangerous, and that the unknown is too daunting to face. But here's the undeniable truth. Fear is a liar. The power of fear lies in its ability to magnify what could go wrong, completely overshadowing the possibilities of what could go right. It convinces us that we are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. Yet when we look deeper, we realize that most fears are not rooted in reality, but are constructs of our imagination. The antidote to this paralyzing force is action. Action disrupts fear. When we take even a small step forward, we start to dismantle the illusions that fear creates. Imagine someone standing on the edge of a diving board for the first time, looking down at the water below. The fear in their mind paints vivid pictures of what might happen if they jump. They might belly flop. The water might be too cold, or they might embarrass themselves in front of others. But the moment they gather the courage to leap, the reality is often very different. They hit the water, surface with a laugh, and realize that the fear they felt was entirely disproportionate to the actual experience. The same principle applies to life's challenges. Fear builds walls that only action can tear down. Fear builds walls that only action can tear down. One powerful example of overcoming fear can be seen in the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Edison faced countless failures, reportedly trying over 1,000 different materials before finding one that worked as a filament for his invention. Imagine the fear he must have felt with every failure. The fear that his time and effort were wasted. The fear that he would never succeed. The fear that he would never succeed. The fear that he would never succeed. And then materialize. Yet instead of succumbing to that fear, Edison reframed each failure as a step closer to success. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." Edison's relentless action, even in the face of fear and uncertainty, ultimately led to one of the most transformative inventions in human history. What can we learn from this? Taking action, even when fear looms large, is the only way to overcome it. Action proves to us that fear is often baseless, a mere figment of our imagination. The process doesn't require monumental leaps. Sometimes the smallest steps are the most profound. Making a phone call, submitting an application, or sharing an idea may seem insignificant, but each action chips away at fear's grip. As we move forward, confidence grows, momentum builds, and fear begins to lose its power. Fear thrives in inaction. When we remain still, fear becomes louder, its grip tighter. But the moment we act, even imperfectly, fear begins to dissolve. Progress is the ultimate weapon against fear. It shows us that we are capable of more than we imagine, that the risks we fear are often exaggerated, and that the rewards of action far outweigh the comfort of inaction. Ultimately, fear can either be a stop sign or a green light. It all depends on how we respond to it. Let it paralyze you, and it becomes a dream killer. Confront it with action, and it becomes a stepping stone to growth. So the next time fear whispers, "What if you fail?" respond with action, and ask yourself instead, "What if I succeed?" In that shift, you'll find the courage to move forward and the power to turn dreams into reality. 2, hopelessness. Repeated failures can dim even the brightest of dreams. But here's a perspective shift. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Each setback teaches us something valuable if we're willing to learn. Remember, the most successful people in history didn't avoid failure, they mastered the art of rising again. Hopelessness is a heavy burden, one that can suffocate dreams and leave a person feeling powerless to move forward. It often stems from repeated failures, each one chipping away at confidence and optimism. Over time, these setbacks can create the illusion that success is impossible. Yet this perspective fails to account for an essential truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is an integral part of the journey. Every stumble, every misstep, and every disappointment carries within it the seeds of growth and the lessons necessary for achieving greater things. Failure, in many ways, is a teacher. It reveals what doesn't work, sharpens our focus, and challenges us to adapt. The problem arises when failure is misunderstood as a final verdict rather than a stepping stone. When we allow failure to define us, we lose sight of our potential and give up on our dreams. But the reality is, failure is not permanent unless we choose to stop trying. What separates those who achieve great things from those who give up is not an absence of failure, but a refusal to let failure have the final word. One of the most inspiring examples of this is the story of Abraham Lincoln. Before becoming one of the most revered presidents in American history, Lincoln faced a long series of failures and setbacks. He lost his job, suffered financial ruin, and failed in multiple business ventures. He endured the pain of losing a loved one and faced repeated rejections in his political career. Lincoln was defeated in elections for the state legislature, Congress, and even the Senate. For most people, such a string of failures would be more than enough to create a sense of hopelessness. But Lincoln didn't let his past define his future. He learned from his experiences, persevered, and continued to refine his vision. Ultimately, his resilience and determination led him to the presidency, where he played a pivotal role in shaping the nation's future. The lesson here is profound. Failure only wins when we give up. Each setback, no matter how painful, contains valuable insights. It might teach us to approach a problem differently, to develop new skills, or to seek help when needed. These lessons, however, are only accessible if we adopt the right mindset, one that views failure as a necessary part of growth rather than an insurmountable obstacle. This shift in perspective allows us to see failure not as a weight that drags us down, but as a tool that builds our strength. Hopelessness often takes root because we focus solely on the outcome rather than the process. We see failure as a reflection of our worth or ability rather than as a moment in time. But success is rarely a straight path. It is a winding road filled with challenges and detours. The most successful people in history didn't avoid failure. They embraced it as part of the process. They understood that resilience, perseverance, and adaptability are far more important than immediate success. It is through facing challenges, enduring setbacks, and continuing to move forward that we grow into the people capable of achieving our dreams. Overcoming hopelessness requires a commitment to persistence and a willingness to reframe our relationship with failure. Instead of seeing each setback as proof that we're not good enough, we can view it as evidence that we're learning and growing. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, we can ask ourselves what we can do differently next time. This mindset transforms failure from an end into a beginning, from a roadblock into a stepping stone. In the end, hopelessness is only permanent if we allow it to be. The weight of past failures can feel overwhelming, but it is not immovable. By choosing to rise again, to learn from our experiences, and to keep striving toward our goals, we can turn even the darkest moments into catalysts for growth. Success is not about avoiding failure. It is about mastering the art of resilience. So when failure comes knocking, remember, it is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. 3. Laziness. The silent dream killer. Dreams demand effort, persistence, and resilience. Laziness, however, seduces us with the lure of ease and comfort. It's the habit of saying, I'll do it tomorrow, until tomorrow never comes. Discipline is the cure. Set a routine, build habits, and let your actions prove your commitment. Success comes to those who show up every day for their dreams. Laziness is a subtle but powerful force that can quietly undermine even the grandest of dreams. It sneaks in under the guise of comfort and whispers, take it easy, or there's plenty of time. While rest and relaxation are important, laziness is different. It's the habitual avoidance of effort, the tendency to prioritize short-term ease over long-term goals. It doesn't demand attention like fear or hopelessness, but its effects are equally destructive. The most dangerous aspect of laziness is its ability to delay action indefinitely. I'll do it tomorrow becomes a recurring mantra, and before we know it, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and the dream remains untouched. Dreams, no matter how grand or modest, require consistent effort, persistence, and resilience. They are not achieved in a single moment, but through a series of deliberate actions taken over time. Laziness, however, erodes this process. It creates a pattern of procrastination that becomes increasingly difficult to break. When we succumb to laziness, we allow opportunities to slip through our fingers. The comfort of doing nothing may feel rewarding in the short term, but it comes at the cost of long-term fulfillment. The cure for laziness is discipline. Discipline is the ability to act in alignment with your goals, even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up every day, regardless of the obstacles or distractions. Building discipline starts with setting a routine. A routine creates structure, eliminating the decision fatigue that often leads to inaction. When you know exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it, there's less room for excuses. Over time, this routine becomes a habit, and the actions that once felt difficult begin to feel natural. Another important aspect of overcoming laziness is breaking tasks into manageable steps. Often, laziness arises because the goal feels overwhelming. The mind sees the enormity of the challenge and decides it's easier not to start at all. But when you divide the goal into smaller, actionable steps, it becomes more approachable. Each completed step builds momentum and reinforces your commitment to the process. A powerful example of overcoming laziness can be found in the life of James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. Before he became a best-sellered author, Clear struggled with procrastination and inconsistent effort. He realized that his lack of progress wasn't due to a lack of talent, but a lack of consistent action. To change this, he focused on building small habits, such as writing for just 10 minutes a day. This modest commitment eliminated the mental resistance to starting. And over time, his 10-minute habit grew into hours of focused work. The result was a transformative shift in his productivity, culminating in the creation of a globally successful book that has helped millions. This example highlights a crucial truth. Success doesn't require monumental effort all at once. It requires showing up consistently, even in small ways. Laziness thrives on the illusion that success is out of reach or that there's always time to start later. Discipline, on the other hand, acknowledges that the journey may be challenging, but chooses to take the first step anyway. To overcome laziness, it's also essential to connect with your why. Why does your dream matter to you? What will achieving it mean for your life and the lives of others? When your motivation is rooted in a strong sense of purpose, it becomes easier to push past the inertia of laziness. Purpose fuels perseverance, and perseverance is the antidote to procrastination. In the end, success belongs to those who are willing to show up for their dreams every day. Laziness may offer temporary comfort, but it leaves behind the bitter taste of regret. Effort, persistence, and resilience, on the other hand, lead to the deep satisfaction of knowing you gave your all. So, the next time laziness tempts you to delay, remind yourself that every action, no matter how small, brings you closer to your dream. The key is not to wait for inspiration or perfect conditions. It's to start, to act, and to commit fully to the journey. Success is not a single event. It's the result of countless small decisions made with discipline and purpose. Let your actions speak louder than your excuses, and your dreams will come to life. 4. Negative thinking, the self-sabotage trap. If you constantly doubt yourself, you create a mental barrier that blocks your progress. Negative thinking is like a fog that distorts your vision of what's possible. To overcome it, replace "I can't" with "I will." Surround yourself with positivity, affirm your abilities, and remind yourself that you are capable of greatness. Negative thinking is one of the most insidious obstacles to personal growth and success. It creeps into the mind quietly, sowing seeds of doubt, fear, and self-criticism. When left unchecked, it creates a mental barrier that blocks progress, limits potential, and sabotages dreams. Negative thinking convinces you that your goals are too difficult, your abilities are inadequate, or that failure is inevitable. It distorts your vision of what's possible, making you focus on obstacles instead of opportunities. The result is stagnation, not because you lack talent or ambition, but because your own thoughts have paralyzed your efforts. The problem with negative thinking is its ability to perpetuate itself. When you tell yourself, "I can't," your actions or lack thereof align with that belief. Over time, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't try because you don't believe you'll succeed, and because you don't try, you don't succeed. This cycle reinforces the belief that you're incapable, creating a fog that obscures your ability to see your true potential. However, the good news is that this cycle can be broken. With effort and intentionality, negative thinking can be replaced with empowering thoughts that propel you forward. The first step in overcoming negative thinking is to recognize it for what it is: a distortion of reality. Negative thoughts are often exaggerated, biased, and untrue. They stem from fear, insecurity, or past experiences, and are not an accurate reflection of your capabilities. To counteract this, you need to challenge these thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed," ask yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed?" Ask yourself, "Is that really true? What evidence do I have to support or disprove this belief?" More often than not, you'll find that your fears are baseless, and the limitations you perceive are self-imposed. Replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations is a powerful way to rewire your mindset. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I will find a way to do this. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. Positive affirmations act as a mental reset, helping you shift your focus from doubt to determination. They remind you of your strengths, your past successes, and your ability to overcome challenges. Over time, this practice builds confidence and reinforces a belief in your capacity for greatness. Another key strategy for overcoming negative thinking is to surround yourself with positivity. The people, environments, and media you engage with have a profound impact on your mindset. If you spend time with individuals who constantly criticize, doubt, or discourage you, their negativity will inevitably affect your own thinking. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with supportive, optimistic, and encouraging people can uplift your spirits and inspire you to reach higher. And seek out mentors, friends, or communities that believe in your potential and challenge you to grow. Positive influences provide a counterbalance to self-doubt, helping you stay focused on your goals. Develop consistent habits. Success comes quickly when you see it. A powerful example of overcoming negative thinking is the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving success, Rowling faced numerous challenges, including financial struggles, personal setbacks, and repeated rejections from publishers. It would have been easy for her to succumb to negative thinking, to believe that she wasn't talented enough, or that her dream of becoming a published author was unattainable. But instead of giving in to self-doubt, she persisted. Rowling continued to believe in her story and her ability to bring it to life. Her determination paid off when her book series not only found a publisher, but went on to become one of the most successful franchises in history. Her story is a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of overcoming negative thinking. Ultimately, the battle against negative thinking is fought in the mind. It requires daily effort to challenge doubts, affirm your strengths, and focus on possibilities rather than limitations. Progress may be gradual, but every step you take reinforces a more positive, empowered mindset. The journey is worth it, because when you free yourself from the trap of negative thinking, you open the door to limitless potential. You start to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and your dreams as achievable. Replace I can't with I will, and let that determination guide you toward the life you envision. 5. Social pressure, the shackles of expectations. Society often tells us what we should do, who we should be, and what success looks like. But living for others' expectations is a surefire way to kill your dreams. Break free from the opinions of others. Live all out with you. You may not know everything about your dreams, but you sure should live the life you're happy with. Social pressure can be one of the most stifling obstacles to achieving your dreams. It manifests as the expectations of family, friends, or society at large, dictating what you should do, who you should be, and what success should look like. These external voices often drown out your inner desires, leading you to live a life that may not align with your true passions or purpose. While societal norms and expectations can provide guidance, they can also act as invisible shackles, preventing you from pursuing the path that genuinely fulfills you. Living for others' expectations is a surefire way to lose touch with your dreams. It fosters a mindset where you seek approval rather than authenticity. Decisions become driven by what others might think rather than what resonates with your values. Over time, this leads to frustration, dissatisfaction, and a sense of emptiness as you realize that you are not living your own life, but someone else's version of it. Breaking free from this cycle requires courage and a deep understanding of your own priorities. The first step to overcoming social pressure is recognizing its presence. It's easy to internalize societal expectations to the point where they feel like your own. Pause and ask yourself, are the goals you're pursuing truly yours, or are they influenced by the fear of judgment, criticism, or disappointing others? By identifying the source of your motivations, you can begin to separate what you genuinely want from what others expect of you. Next, it's important to cultivate a strong sense of self. When you are confident in your values, passions, and abilities, the opinions of others hold less sway over your decisions. This doesn't mean you should dismiss constructive feedback or advice. Rather, it means filtering input through the lens of your own aspirations. Trust yourself to know what's best for you. This sense of self-assurance is the foundation for resisting the pull of societal expectations. Learning to say no is another critical skill. Often, social pressure comes in the form of well-meaning advice or encouragement to follow a certain path. While these suggestions may be rooted in good intentions, they are not always aligned with your dreams. Politely but firmly declining opportunities, roles, or commitments that don't serve your goals is an act of self-respect. It reinforces the idea that your time and energy are precious and should be directed toward what truly matters to you. An excellent example of overcoming social pressure can be found in the story of Steve Jobs. As a young man, Jobs faced immense pressure to follow conventional paths to success. Dropping out of college was seen as a risky and irresponsible decision, yet he trusted his instincts and pursued his passion for technology and design. Jobs famously followed his own vision, even when it went against industry norms or the advice of others. His refusal to conform to societal expectations allowed him to innovate in ways that transformed the tech industry and revolutionized the way people interact with technology. His story serves as a powerful reminder that greatness often lies in the willingness to go against the grain. Breaking free from social pressure also requires surrounding yourself with supportive people who respect your individuality. While you can't control the opinions of everyone, you can choose to spend time with those who encourage you to be true to yourself. These individuals act as anchors, providing encouragement and perspective when the weight of expectations feels overwhelming. Lastly, remember that your life is yours to live. The opinions of others may seem important in the moment, but at the end of the day, the only person who will live with the consequences of your decisions is you. Strive to create a life that reflects your passions, values, and dreams. Regret often stems not from failing, but from not trying, from allowing external pressures to dictate the course of your life. Society's expectations will always exist, but they don't have to define you. By recognizing the influence of social pressure, cultivating self-awareness, and staying committed to your dreams, you can break free from these shackles. When you live authentically, you not only honor yourself, but also inspire others to do the same. In closing, I want you to remember this. Every dream killer can be defeated, but it starts with a choice. A choice to believe in your dreams, to fight for them, and to rise above every obstacle. Fear, hopelessness, laziness, negative thinking, and social pressure may be powerful, but they are not invincible. You are stronger than these barriers. Your dreams are worth the struggle. So dare to dream boldly and act courageously, because the world needs dreamers who don't just dream, but turn those dreams into reality.